So you guys had the search warrant yesterday, conducted it. Interesting situation. So just tell me what you guys found when you went to his home.
And so as part of our investigation, we went to his home on All Avenue in the town of Colony. When the officers opened the door, they could immediately smell natural gas. It appears that the stove was intentionally left on. There was also a candle burning near the stove and some incense that was left burning nearby as well. So Colony Police is going to investigate that incident. We did notify them that night. The Fuller Road Fire Department also responded to the scene to conduct an assessment of the situation, especially the gas inside the house. And it's my understanding that some of the neighbors were evacuated while that was taking place. But again, that incident occurred in the town of Colony. Colony Police, who you want to talk to about that investigation.
Okay, gotcha.
Was that some kind of suicide mission, possible like blowing up the neighborhood mission? Like, what do you think he was trying to do there?
Yeah, it's unknown. You know, we went there as part of our investigation to conduct a search warrant at the residence, and they came upon the gas in the house and the open flame from the candle. So thankfully, nobody was injured as a result of that. But again, Colony Police was notified. It's their jurisdiction, and they'll open up their case in their town.
But what other reason would there be for him to intentionally leave a stove on and a candle? Usually it's to blow the place up.
Yeah, I can't speak for what his intentions may or may not have been, but that's what we came across when we arrived on the scene, and we notified the proper authorities in that jurisdiction.
Got it. So that's interesting. I'm going to talk to Fuller Road Fire Department. And then we've got a couple messages, and we're wondering too, you know, what do you say to people who say there was not enough transparency yesterday?
I think that we did the best we could, myself and the spokesperson for Albany Med, to not only put stuff out on social media. We encouraged people to follow us on Twitter as to what was going on. The hospital also tweeted some stuff out. And we did 3 news briefings within a very short amount of time, and to really dispel misinformation that was out there. I had people calling me from the media asking about things that they were learning about on social media that were very far from the truth. So it was very important for myself as the spokesperson for the Albany Police and Matt Markham from the hospital to get out in front of some of that stuff to let people know what was going on. I understand that you know, things move quickly in this business, but we did the best we could to put information out there. The media, Channel 13 included, live streamed their coverage from the scene. They live streamed our press briefing, so we appreciate that because we want people watching not just on social media but on the television as well. So they have the facts, and we can set the record straight from some of the misinformation that was out there on social media, and a lot of speculation as well, even from people who came out of the hospital and were interviewed by the media, had certain accounts of what was taking place inside that just weren't accurate.
And you released a tweet today and some more information about the handgun on top of the BB gun. Why not release it yesterday that there was a shotgun that he had as well as a BB gun?
Yeah, at the time of the last briefing last night, that was moments after our emergency services team entered the room and safely took Mr. Savoca into custody. Let's remember what the call was for. The call was for a person who displayed a handgun, pointed it at a transport employee, and threatened them if they didn't leave the room. When our emergency services team entered that room, they did locate a handgun. Thankfully, that handgun was determined to be a BB gun. Through further investigation, another firearm was located within that room, inside that room. It was determined to be a shotgun, and they've also found some live ammunition in that room. So thankfully that everything went as well as it did.
How did he get that gun? Did he bring it with him inside, both of them?
I'm not sure. You know, our primary focus obviously was to respond for that call for service. Around 2:40 afternoon, we got called for a person inside the hospital who may have been armed. We immediately received information that this individual was inside of a room on the 3rd floor of the hospital in the C building. We cordoned off that area with the help of Albany Med security, staff from Albany Med, and Albany police officers. We were able to get other patients off that floor. And for several hours, we focused our attention on one room, which we talked about yesterday. We focused on that room. We had communication with Mr. Savoca inside that room, asked him to please exit the room, not only for his own safety, but we've got to remember his 97-year-old mother was also inside that room and was already a patient at the hospital. So we wanted to make sure she was receiving the proper health care that she needed. Happy to report that she's in stable condition. She was evaluated medically last night after the operation, and he was evaluated as well. So he was charged this morning, and he was arraigned, and it's my understanding he's at the jail.
There are thousands of employees and patients in and out of that hospital every day, and now knowing that someone could get a shotgun
We have such a great partnership with Albany Med, not just the administration there and the staff. You got to remember, Albany cops are inside that hospital every single day. Not for incidents like this, but they're bringing patients into the ER. They're bringing, taking reports within the hospital for certain incidents. And we have a great working relationship with the security at Albany Medical Center. We also train with the facility to try to figure out what we're going to do when incidents like this happen. I don't think we could have asked for a better outcome yesterday. There was such coordination between the Albany Police Department and Albany Med staff, not just in terms of communication to the public, but just working together, working with their team, moving patients, getting patients in a safe area. We cordoned off that area so quickly that the rest of the hospital, despite the lockdown for everyone's safety, was operating like a normal hospital. There was a short period of time, to my understanding, that they couldn't take some ambulances. They sent them to other hospitals, but even that was just temporary. Just a great overall effort by everybody involved, and we're going to continue to train. And we debrief. You know, the Albany Med staff's going to have a debrief. The Albany Police Department will have a debrief. That's not uncommon for situations like this, where we just kind of talk about what we could have done better, what we did wrong, where we might be able to improve, and things like that. So
you're talking about the response to what happened, but in terms of preventing something like this from happening, is there a concern today that this could happen again?
there's things that can always happen, but we try to mitigate the best we can. They have a very robust security department at Albany Medical Center. They do a great job. When there are incidents in the hospital, they notify the Albany Police Department. There are times when Albany cops are inside the hospital, not full time, but we do the best we can. The security does the best they can, but it also comes upon everyone in the hospital, if they see something, to say something. They have a really great staff over there who could help prevent some incidents as well. So I don't have any criticism for the Albany Medical Center staff or security. I mean, everybody does a great job, and they will continue to do a great job.
Do you have extra officers on hand at Albany Med right now, either inside or outside?
Not to my knowledge, no.
We also got several tips that the suspect, Savoca, was banned from the hospital before because he brought a knife inside with him. Is there any truth to that?
That I'm not sure about.
Okay. I know the crux for most everyone here is that safety is the number one for everyone involved, including him and his mother. But it's a question, again, that everyone is wondering is, how did he get hold of these two guns? I mean, is it something that he just walked in with them? I mean, there was ammunition in the room too, or did he take it off an officer? I mean, if there's staff inside, officers inside of the hospital at all times, or a lot of the times, why was this not looked at, or did no one see anything before he pulled it out?
I'm not sure how we got in there. I mean, certainly something we'll look into, but I can tell you that the gun was not taken off of any officer. The one is a BB gun, which you can purchase at Walmart or any other store, and the other is a shotgun, which can be purchased legally as well.
So did he bring it inside with him?
It made its way into the hospital. I mean, how it got into the hospital, I'm not sure. We're certainly going to look into that, but again, I mean, anything can happen at any time. It's a very large building with a lot of people in it. And we're just grateful that we were able to respond the way we did yesterday and safely take him into custody.
But that's what I want to know is the how. How did it get into the building?
It got into the building. I mean, I don't know how it got into the building. He could have taken it into the building. It's safe to assume that he may have taken it into the building. I mean, he had the firearm on his possession, the BB gun on his possession. So, but they do have a security staff. I mean, it could have. I don't know whether he put it in his pants, whether it was in a bag. That's all stuff that needs to be looked into. But the fact of the matter is there was a firearm inside that building, and the Albany Police Department, the Albany Medical Center staff, security, administration, everyone worked together yesterday to mitigate what could have been a very different outcome, and thankfully it ended the way it did.
So is it safe to say for us that weapons were on him as he was walking into the building?
I'm not sure how they got into the building. He had weapons on him at the time of his arrest.
Can you tell us more about this skilled team, like how they train for negotiating with somebody and what that process is like?
Yeah, I can't get into too many tactics because, I mean, obviously it's an officer safety issue as well as the individuals who we're trying to protect every single day. But we do have a highly trained emergency services team. This is a team that, responds to these types of situations. The crisis intervention team is a group of officers who are trained in negotiations. They have this particular set of skills as well that they use to communicate with people. And that's what we do first. We always just try to get on the phone or make some type of verbal communication with individuals to try to get them to come out safely. We tried that for several hours. They were unsuccessful. He refused to come out. Again, he pushed up items against the door, including a large reclining chair, to prevent anybody from getting in. And a determination was made not just for his safety, but for the safety of his 97-year-old mother, who was a patient at the hospital, who needed medical care, that we were going to go in and make sure that he was taken into custody and get her the care she needed.
During your conversations with him before he was charged and taken into custody, did he say anything at all? What did he say to you guys?
You know, I'm not sure. I wasn't part of those conversations. I just know that they were taking place. You know, and I know that the goal of those conversations was, please come out of the room, so we can take care of Mom, to get you the help you need, get her the help she needs. Let's figure out what's going on. And we got obviously a safety concern because there was a potential firearm in the room, and we know now that there was at least one shotgun and one BB gun.
And then the mental evaluation for both, and you said the mother's is complete. What about his?
So I don't know about mental evaluation. They were taken care of medically. That's part of our procedures, is that they're both evaluated medically. He was evaluated medically at the time of his arrest, and his mother, who was already a patient at the hospital, was evaluated by several staff there to make sure that she was okay. She's 97 years old.
Yeah. I think that's all the questions I have for you. Anything that you want to add that we didn't ask you?
No, I think that's it. I mean, I know you're very interested in how the weapons got into the hospital. I can't say for sure how the weapons got into the hospital. What I can say is that there were weapons in the hospital. How they physically got from point A to point B remains under investigation.